Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shakedown. And tonight, my guest, he is one half of the No Nights Off show and the current reigning, defending house show world champion, Paddy Pitts in the building. How you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. Love the intro.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm usually the one doing everyone's intro, so it's nice to be on the other side of the line on that one. I'm
Yeah.
doing good, bro. Like, can't complain. Sunday was great. Watched some football. I was telling you off camera, didn't get to watch Survivor Series live because, boyfriend duties. So, gonna take the Sunday night and because of my job, have Monday off. So we're gonna watch Survivor Series and see what everyone's talking about because I have seen the spoilers. I'm the champ of the peeps. I gotta know what's going on at all times, but you gotta know why everything went down. And you can't, as we all know, you can't go off of what the IWC is talking about. You need to see it with your own eyes. So I need to go and dissect that and then come back into talking about that. So no, things are good.
Yeah.
Things are good. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me on. Can't wait to talk shop.
Yeah, man, it's great. We've done some work over on the oh my god, I almost said hot tag again. On Ringside Rant, we've done some watch parties over there, had some time to talk wrestling over there, but this is a little different opportunity. I need to know who you are, what makes you tick, why you are the wrestling fan you are. Patty Pitts, who are you?
I'm the captain of all things nonsensical, the host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and as you said, champion of the peeps. I say it before every single one of my shows, No Nights Off and the house show. The house show, I'm repping the one of one hat right now. Um, no, I am a lifelong wrestling fan. I started watching when I was 3 because I was on the pull-out couch that my brother had to live on in the basement because I was God's gift. So went down into the basement to live with my or hang out with my brother, and I remember The Rock coming out. I don't remember what he said, and I remember he was wearing one of his white cutoff shirts. It was like
Mm.
2000 Rock, like 2000
Oh,
Rock.
yeah.
And when he was speaking, I was like enthralled immediately. Like I was like, who's that guy? And then my brother had a VHS, which I have the DVD version of it, but it's called The Rock, the People's Champ. I had the
Oh,
VHS of it, and I watched that thing probably until the actual tape came out. And The Rock just was my gateway drug into the world of wrestling. Everything The Rock did, I was like, I want to be this when I go outside, when I grow up, like, oh. And then just everything that went with it because I was a big sports guy, still I'm a big sports guy.
yeah.
I do love the athleticism of it, competition, like that's cool. But I also love the entertainment side,
Yeah.
Hollywood side. I have family, my brother is in Hollywood, and like him and I talk about stuff like that, and like I pick his brain. It's so fascinating, and when you
Wow.
bring both those worlds together,
Mm-hmm.
like you can't. There's nothing like it in this world. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all in. It's like ask me anything. That's why the house show. You literally all you gotta do is just call in and ask me anything. Cause like, dude, I could talk for days.
And that call-in idea it's such a cool idea, and we'll definitely touch in about that in a little bit. But I mean, you talk about getting hooked and being right into it, and it was your brother that kind of got you into it. Is he really the only one in your family that was into wrestling? Is there somebody else that, it was kind of like more than just you two, or was that like a bonding point between you two? Like you were the only ones?
It absolutely was a bonding point because the age difference is 16 years.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's big, you know. So I'm 4 years old, and he's right out of college or like still in
Right.
college. And if you're a wrestling fan and you're doing the math, that's around the Attitude Era. That's when college kids are into it, and it is the coolest thing on television. And my brother just always loved, pop culture, entertainment, movies, all that stuff. So like, it was part of it when he was showing me that world. I just grabbed onto it and was like, "This is fucking awesome." Yeah, that stuff's cool. Like, keep showing me that, but no, no, no. Like, these are my people, and I just
Right.
knew it from the jump.
It's
But no
like
one
that
else does the
Triple
work in
H.
my family.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the
No
thing.
one watches my family,
It was a
friends or
little
anything.
bit different for in my family. There was like my grandfather. It was like a whole thing, but um
Really?
yeah, it was like, my dad started with the Stone Cold Steve Austin saying, like every time he's like, "Oh, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so." Every time I was like, "Oh, I want whatever."
Yeah,
So I was like, "What?" And I just eventually kind of liked how it sounded and stuff like that. I was like, "Where do you get that stuff from?" He's like, "Oh, wrestling."
it's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
my cousins actually, and I talking it out. It's no one in like my dad, none of that, but my cousins and uncle were really into it. Like my uncle watched Jesse Ventura and does like a Jesse Ventura impression. It's awesome. And we spent Thanksgiving spending like ending the night rewatching the first ever one night stand. Not '06, but like the first one ever where
Oh,
Paul
right.
Heyman calls out JBL for only being champion because Triple H doesn't want to work
On
on
like
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Like OG stuff, and like I watch Mike Awesome put on like a 5-star banger, and my cousin's like, "Yeah, Pat, we want to watch that." And I'm like, "All right, bet." So you have those two people really, but like no one else in my world relates to it the like, at all really.
So we're talking about The Rock being the gateway drug, and I don't know that necessarily throughout your wrestling fandom that is still maintained that number one spot for you. And I'm not going to necessarily put your feet to the fire, ask for your number one of
I will
all
if you
time.
want. I have no fear. I have no fear when it comes to my wrestling takes, dude. That's the beauty of wrestling. You say whatever you want, and people will agree, and people will disagree. So like, dude, The Rock is obviously like still there. Like he's the guy that got me in. But after everything that has happened with his involvement in both,
Mm,
technically of the last two WrestleMania main events. Um, you know, not fear because he's not fearing about it, but like the not being able to commit to something because of Hollywood stuff.
mm,
That hurts as a wrestling fan, but I also realize, and what I love about wrestling too is that it is a business
yeah.
and it has to move forward. So even though The Rock can't do it, all right, well, what's that story we wanted to cook up and just throw at the fans and throw a bone to the diehard WWE fan. My wrestling fandom has definitely changed. John Cena is obviously my guy that's probably kept me here. We'll say like that. He is the living embodiment of a role model. Like for everything that parents say about why their kids should not watch wrestling, John Cena is the complete opposite and is the
Right.
reason everybody should be watching pro wrestling. Like, not just him, the character, but the person. Like the best stat that he has throughout his entire
Mm-hmm.
WWE career isn't the championships, isn't that he's the unseen 17. It's the fact that he has the most make a wish visits in company history, in Make a Wish company
Yeah.
or foundation
Yeah.
history, not WWE. That's what's crazy. So like it's that stuff that like keeps me in and will always try to like get others to watch as well. And he's the guy that's like always kept me there when I fell out of it a little bit.
Yeah. It's just he was always the safe guy. He was always there. He was actually the reason I started watching wrestling. When he got drafted to Raw in '05 was my first episode of Raw I've ever watched.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
oh, what an episode to start
That's
on, but
crazy.
We got The Rock, we got Cena. That's two. I'm going to ask you to fill it out to four. Give me a Mount Rushmore of WWE.
Okay, WWE, that's a
Yes.
good specification. Um, Only because I did not know of him until WWE. Kevin Owens is absolutely on there.
Wow.
I I put Kevin Owens up there in the Rock. You know, as someone who's like I'm enamored with obsessed wrestler wise. Like Kevin Owens is
Okay.
it. Like he is the if I was ever to be a wrestler, that is who I would embody. You
So
know, like
funny.
I would that's who I would gain inspiration from. Cause
Yeah.
like he's just a dude who loves it and especially when he's doing press tours and whatnot, he openly expresses his fandom
Yeah.
that got him into it. And like you realize he's just one of us.
Yeah.
Like he's every like his passion in the ring, like it, thanks to WWE Unreal, you see a little bit more of an insight on his brain and his
Mm-hmm.
mind or how he works. And I think that's one of my favorite elements of the business and why I'm still a fan or like that type of content. So like yeah, I would absolutely oh my god, I absolutely put him three without a
Okay.
doubt in WWE. Four I'll have to is tough though. Cause like I've had a weird in and out period in my fandom where obviously a little kid growing up like The Rock, little Attitude Era, fell out from like '02 to '04, watched all throughout '04, John Cena, all that. Little stopped, fell out of till '08, missed the entire Super Cena. Like I was
Yeah.
not watching at the time, like during the dog days, but then thanks to YouTube and endless time on my hands in college, I went back and watched that to make up for lost time. And wow, thank God I'm a Patriots fan, and that's what I was doing in those years. Um, I and like I loved AJ Styles in TNA. I don't want to put him in my WWE because that like he's the reason I'm a TNA fan. If you want to
Y-
even go that far,
Right.
like he's the reason I was into that. I'm gonna go Undertaker. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go Undertaker. I think The Undertaker is the greatest wrestling character ever created.
Yeah.
It's without a doubt, and he has a Mount Rushmore mind for the industry where it's one of the few old heads that you trust with their opinion on the future of the industry.
Yeah.
It's how many old school dudes you hear go on, you know, one of shows like this and will spew their opinions and thoughts, and you're like, oh, dude, like it's 2025, man. Like people, they're a lot smarter wrestling fan. If you're worried about the secret getting out and fans not being interested, it, it's the opposite. The more you tell them, the more interested. That's like how it goes. So like cater to that, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's he's one of those few dudes where he has so many stories because he was around for so long. He has stories from eras with Hogan, the Attitude Era, the PG era, and even the tail like Triple H, like
Mm-hmm.
this now Eric. He's involved a little bit. I mean, with LFG and whatnot. Like his his experience goes, his experience and character combined. Like those four guys are like, yeah, who WWE are to me, and that's just the men.
Wow. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the women is a whole other can of worms. See, I got
All
Cena
that.
on there as well, but instead of The Rock,
Mhm.
I have Austin, and then I have
Okay,
Triple H, and I also have The Undertaker. S-
fine, like great.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna even
it's a
debate that
fun.
because
It's
that's
fun. It's just my thing, and people kind of get stuck on this one is the Triple H thing. He has done so much for this business from when he started as freaking Hunter Hearst Helmsley. and then to do everything behind the scenes and help superstars get to the point where they are now, to even when he was towards the end putting some superstars over, trying like hell to get Roman Reigns over, not really his fault. But
It's not his fault. That's yeah, bigger
and then
problem.
the NXT stuff. And that it also counts for me. NXT and what he's doing now.
Okay.
Has it all been home runs? No. But has it been consistently better than the last few years we got of Vince? 100%.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, it has, dude. Like
And that
Triple
kind
H is
of,
such a mind for the
that's the
business. It's you
thing.
can't teach that, dude. You can't that's something where all right, that's someone who can just see it and know, like it's unmatched.
It's unbelievable. And that kind of brings me to the next point. Like, what do you think of WWE right now? Where we're at, where we stand. I know you didn't really watch Survivor Series, but I mean, up until then and kind of the next months going forward, how do you feel about everything?
Regardless of my thoughts on Survivor Series, I'm immediately leaving this and watching it. WWE is in a good place right now. They've plateaued to me. Everyone who says that WWE is down and oh, it's really not the same since Triple H took over. No shit. You can't just keep as hitting home runs. You don't hit a home run every at bat you have. Like
Yeah.
you're going to have a little bit of ups and downs. And right now, yeah, it's a little bit of a down because there's too much talent. There's too
Yeah.
much star power. And that's a good and bad thing. You always have someone ready. They're hungry. It's and it's different the exposure. The exposure now is so crucial, dude. Like for them to be on ESPN
Yes.
making these deals, these TV deals, Netflix, like that's the trend we want to see the wrestling industry get to. You have to have somebody be the first, and they are the giant. They are the standard in wrestling. They're doing their job going after those big deals where they're also doing another smart thing in pairing with the little guy because the
Yes.
little guy needs to be good, competitive, you know, um, like elite, if you want to, because that's the next generation that's going to WWE. And
Right.
that generation is going to make wrestling better and bigger as a whole. And that like honestly WWE wouldn't even be where they are right now if it was not for AEW.
Right.
Like
Competition's a good thing.
it's and it's crazy that Triple H, going back to him, is the catalyst in a sense for all of this starting with the black and gold era. The black and gold era of NXT, it was lightning in a bottle with the
Hmm.
stars that they had. They had the biggest indie name stars and just put them all together under the WWE umbrella. And because Triple H was who he was, they gave him the keys and said, try it out. And they put on, at that point, better matches than the main card.
Hmm.
So right then, you knew the business was in good hands once he took over. So cool. Now where WWE stands, they need to make it, if they're going to go this route with TV deals and whatnot, the ticket sales do need to come down a little bit because you're going to see competition like AEW, like a TNA, like a Beyond or whoever indie promotion is in your area. Like I went to John Cena's final match at the Garden. I went with myself and the executive chef from Motion Prime. We paid $250 a ticket. Okay. I sat on the floor for Dynamite and Collision at 110.
Wow.
See what I mean? Like WWE can keep doing its thing and being this sports entertainment because that's going to get the TV deals. But when it comes to wrestling, pro wrestling, and that old school feel, you're going to get that on the indies, which in a weird nonsensical way helps everybody.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, just like even the partnerships with TNA and AAA have helped WWE a lot, in my opinion. TNA has gotten better. It's now this feeder system, quote unquote. It's not a developmental brand, it's just under that umbrella. And WWE, they're starting to pluck stars from it. It's like, oh, well, that hurts TNA, doesn't it? Yeah, but what does that also do when you pull the drain out of a bathtub? Something's got to fill it, something's got to get in that spot. And that's going to be new stars. Leon Slater is going to come up right on through there. Guys like that. Who's just a kid from Birmingham. And let's be honest, if it weren't for TNA and this partnership with WWE, people wouldn't be on as big a high on him. Would the Indies be on fire? Absolutely. But this is just a whole new level of opportunity. And the WWE ID program is another spotlight on that as well. And it's really fun as a fan when you get to watch these things, and then sometimes you watch them a little bit differently on this side, on the content side. Well, how did you even get started in all of that?
I think that's crazy because I went to college to be on ESPN essentially,
Yeah.
be that sports reporter, whatever, and just realized it wasn't it. And I ended up finding podcasting. Like I wanted to do that, and I was big into fantasy football. Wanted to, live the dream and do a podcast with your best friend. And when you like realize it was so oversaturated, and the amount of effort and little details it took, that
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't have it. Didn't have it. And I still was doing the fantasy podcast. But this time I was doing it with Sarah because we just connected online, being mutual, fans of the Patriots, and end up doing fourth and goal together. We would end the show and then just talk wrestling for another half hour, like our old fandoms and stuff. And we got to a point where we are just like, do you want to just like start a wrestling show and see where it goes? And we did podcasts. We weren't on YouTube yet. We were just did podcast episodes on Apple and Spotify. And we didn't even have a name. It was just Pits and Saddles Wrestling Show. And it's funny enough because we started doing it right around WrestleMania 38 when Cody came back.
I
I think
was
it was like
there.
one of our first. You went to 38?
I did.
That's a hell of a mania to go to.
Unbelievable.
The most stupendous WrestleMania of all time.
The best of the first three two
Did you go to both
nighters.
nights?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did see Austin. That's cool. That's one person I've never seen live.
Oh, dude, I've never seen Cena.
Really?
Yep. Out of all
Oh,
the shows I've
man.
been to, never seen Cena. Sucked.
Oh,
But
see, I'm spoiled being from Boston because when he would come here, he'd win the title. He was gonna win the
yeah,
title. Like,
he's
or
never in
I saw him
Albany.
win Money in the Bank. What Money in
Actually,
the Bank? That Money in the Bank.
he was in
No, it was
Albany
that one.
one time, but I wasn't there.
Okay.
Well, the time he was in Albany was when Edge cashed in at New Year's Revolution. That was in Albany.
No shit.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
hated Edge with a burning passion. I wasn't at the show, but like I watched the Monday Night Raw after, and I was like, "What? Oh!" I was freaking out.
Wasn't he had the title when I went to bed? What is going on?
Yeah, right. He won. I thought he won the match, and then and that's when I really understood what Money in the Bank was. Oh, I was furious. I thought it was like you could
Best
just
concept.
schedule a match whenever you wanted. I didn't realize you could just do it.
Oh, it's the great one top three greatest invention to sports entertainment slash pro wrestling was a Money in the Bank type of cash in.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
so good.
All through the mind of Chris Jericho, which
Mm-hmm.
is hilarious of all people.
So good. And then Bischoff tries to take credit, but anyway.
Yeah,
You.
no, can't. Hey, we just talked wrestling like on the show. We were just talking, so we were just like, fuck it, we're gonna do our own show. And we're just doing we're like and Sarah had a YouTube channel that she was doing for Patriot stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, why I want to use it. Let's use it for something." I'm like, "All right, we can just go live." And then we're going live on that channel, did the YouTube thing of cutting clips and then posting it. She did an incredible job doing that. And then it just was slow growth. It was just slow growth of just every we were, went live, I think, for a year and a half every Tuesday and Saturday to do a raw or a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 3 nights a week.
Damn.
Because we recap both shows, and because I watch so much more than she does. She's only a WWE fan,
Mm-hmm.
really, in her fandom, where I watch everything from obviously WWE to the indies in my backyard to backyard wrestling. I will watch whatever. So we had that night, and that was when I would, go off my own takes about things that weren't WWE to try to reach that audience,
Mm-hmm.
in a way. And it just grew, you know. Um, we grew up a little audience, and it was just like it was my outlet to talk about wrestling because I don't have it here. It's no one that I can call up and go grab a beer or whatever.
Yeah.
We watch wrestling together. It's down here, myself. And it's always been that way, always growing up. Like I remember even when I wasn't watching WWE, I still love wrestling because I would DVR and stay up late on the weekends, TNA on Spike
Mm.
TV.
Yes.
And I fell in love with AJ Styles. Samoa Joe was the coolest dude I've ever seen step into a ring. Um, and you had the familiar face from WWE like Kurt Angle, Christian. At one point, like Booker T, you're like, all right, what's going on here? Kevin Nash. Um, Abyss was the scariest slash coolest looking monster I've ever seen. And I think Jimmy from the Q, if anyone
Mm.
follows him, he said on a Stash Club quiz, I think, that Abyss is the child of Mankind and Kane.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a good way to put it, especially with the Sinister Minister, James Mitchell. Like I always watched it but had no one to talk to about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always love I just always want to do some sort of have my own show or whatnot. That's why I went to school for journalism. So like it's kind of it's just that thing that all right, you got the idea, you got the abilities, go do it now. And I'm a big believer in fandoms being a good thing for having a platform, even in sports. And that was something at school that we were told like never to have was have a like be a fan. And the fact that wrestling, it's all about being a fan.
Yeah.
When you start using your head in a way to critic or using your head to critique the business and the company and all that, it doesn't become fun. But when you just are a fan, you have the best opinions, the best thoughts, like the craziest ideas, the most fun ideas. And that's where I feel it's like, all right, like this it just feels like this is it. This is my space. Like I need to be a fan of this. I can't be a robot.
It's too fun. It's too engaging. There's too much going on, and that's something one of my, old co-hosts to my first ever wrestling podcast, Hot Tag. He was always yelling at me. He's like, "Dude, you're not having fun because you're thinking about it too much. Stop watching
Yeah.
it as an adult. Watch it as a kid. It's hard to do, but just try to think of that, and you're gonna enjoy it so much. Don't have expectations. Just enjoy the ride." And as fans, like especially as we get older, it's easy to be like, "Well, I know you can do this, so why not that?" Well, I don't know. Maybe it's going to take 2, 3 months to figure that out. Like it's not TikTok. We're not here for
Yeah.
30 to 60-second dopamine hits. Like this could be a year long. The Bloodline story was damn near 5 years long. It's not even over
It's
technically
still
yet.
going. It's still going. It's
Yes.
the greatest story in wrestling history. I don't
Yes.
debate anyone on that. It is the greatest story ever told and still being told in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's
I could
just
go on and
unbelievable. Like I don't fans sometimes I get it because you want to see your favorite person win every single time. But the reality is that's not going to happen. And sometimes losses are the best thing for your favorite person. Like you can't keep winning all the time. It's going to suck. Look what happened to John Cena. If he wasn't John Cena, he would have been buried to the nether realm and we would have never heard from him again. Look at Austin Theory. I'm so sorry. If that was you in the hood, I promise you have a chance for an
That's
amazing
I was
comeback.
gonna
But
ask you because I saw that spoiler. I'm like, all right, I saw some mannerisms. He did a death curb stomp. Like,
yeah,
he can do
like
that. He's done it
I
before,
think it
you
might
know.
be Theory, but I mean, and then you were talking about doing the show with Sarah, and you're like, "This is my space. This is my own thing." How did you end up with the house show doing your own thing?
Well, it's goes back to the fantasy sports. I was doing the fantasy podcast under Underground Sports, and you know, founder of it is the way I describe him, his role, the founder, Kyle Bennett. We just got along. Like it just became a good friend of mine. I mean, he's the reason I was able to go to WrestleMania 40. I was at his house. He let me stay there, the entire week.
Damn.
Um, and drove me there, and like, oh, we have stories, man, that like, you know, it was great. So, and he showed me around Philly, and we both sports fans, and it just never worked with the fantasy stuff, as I mentioned. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
just no, it wasn't in the cards, and he still had the mindset of we got to find you something because you're one of my good friends, but also you have something. You just don't know what it is. And he kept being the ear that I would been talking to about wrestling. And he'd be like, all right, whatever. And then Pat McAfee gets into that big feud with Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, that was crazy.
He's a big McAfee guy. Kyle's a huge McAfee fan. He's like, who's this jabron Adam Cole going after my guy? I'm like, oh, don't you dare come after the Undisputed Era. Like, don't, like so it was that was the first like taste of him seeing the wrestling fan and me spewing facts about Adam Cole. He's like, oh wow, this kid's an encyclopedia. So he was like, all right, and after seeing WrestleMania 40 and being with me at World, and we went to Wale Mania too, where
Oh,
I
geez.
gave Biggie a hug and told him that I was there for his cash in and how it was such a great moment for me and thank you. That was incredible.
That's awesome.
It like so we always wanted to find like how is the idea gonna happen, and I don't know how it hit him, but he pitched the idea of why don't you do a sports radio talk show for callers and whatnot. I'm grew up in Boston listening to sports talk radio, and every morning in the cars my dad drove me to school. I'm like, all right, yeah, game set match, let's do it. And I kid you not, it's the most fun I've had doing a show. It is because of the wide range of topics we can go into. Both of us are huge Marvel guys, so that's one way I compare it and help him comprehend what's going on in the
Yeah.
wrestling world. So we'll like do comparisons like that, because he's a casual fan, he can ask me questions about, you know, little wrestling idiosyncrasies or like logistics, We'll say like the wrestling kayfabe, like
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Okay.
And I like getting those questions because it's someone to talk to about it, and like I just love talking about it, doesn't care who with who. Um, so it's cool, you know. Yeah, it's like just to have like a place where and it's where people can call in and ask anything. You know, it's Sarah, it's and the nights no nights off. I love that because we're just talking about WWE. You know, just with two people shooting the shit about what went on in the program. But you don't get to really hear my fandoms because I'm breaking
Right.
it down on such a different level where I'm like, this is where you, it's my thoughts on the business. You know, whether it's I'm a fan of it or not, no, this is what they're doing.
Right.
And with the house show, you get to see my fandoms and like ask me stuff that you wouldn't get to know, but it would help you understand why I think of these different fantasy bookings or how my mind goes when a storyline or a segment happens on WWE programming and where I think it would go. Be like, which I think a lot of the time, if you talk to a wrestling fan, you can kind of see where their mind goes in how they would, we'll say, book a show. And I always love hearing those different fantasy booking styles because I was that kid who was making match cards for his action figures in fourth grade instead of doing my math homework. You know, because I would just come race home and get the action figures going, make up my own world, and like this is my show. You know, so it's like it's nice to see other people's opinions.
Yeah, priorities. Math can wait. We have to figure out
Dude,
who's going
it's
to be the
fourth
next world
grade.
champ.
All right, it's fourth grade. You're gonna read a couple books. You're gonna learn some math, learn how to tell time, and then play outside. That's what you should be doing in fourth grade.
I still don't know how to do fractions properly. Okay, I could have skipped fourth grade
Dude,
apparently.
my niece asks me homework for help with her homework. I can't do it
No.
sometimes. Like dude, kids math now is so different. It is so different than when
Yeah.
we were into school. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just the way they teach it. With the no nights off recently, you mentioned him earlier in the show. You're not just some nobody from New England here. You're starting to make some progress, make some way. You had Jimmy from the Q from Stash Club Wrestling on your show, on
Yeah.
the house show. What was that like? What was that experience?
Oh, Jimmy's the man, dude. Like, it's so cool to watch something. It's so cool to have watched Stash Club for so long, and then have one of the dudes on the show, and then eventually meeting him at Bound for Glory, and eventually actually giving him a ride home, which was hilarious. Um, giving Jimmy from the Q and Paddy Pitts driving home from Lowell, Massachusetts. Oh, it was a hell of a car ride. But
Awesome.
no, he's awesome. Jimmy, he's such a cool dude, and I I like I love having people like that on the show because it's growing the network
Yeah.
of content creators. I love seeing people like Wheezy, Muscle
Yeah.
Man Malcolm asking everyone there Waffle House order. BDE, I watched the TNA. Met him at WrestleMania 40
So cool.
in the Vibe, and then I watched him wrestle at TNA. It's always funny to see what LA Night Girl is gonna post next. Like it's its own little world
Yes.
in itself, where from wrestlers to wrestling content creators, I just want to have peeps on and talk about the biz. We've had the victorious BRG, Brett Ryan Gosling, the hottest free agent out there right now.
Yeah.
We've had him on the show, Delmi Exo, who was the MLW featherweight champion. He's going over to Japan right now to fight uh, another big Northeast talent. So, we've had the wrestlers and wrestling content creators on. Anyone that just wants to talk about it, like, let's do it. And it's nice to talk about anything because it feels like with like we talk WWE. Everyone wants to talk just like WWE and what's going on now. And oh, I don't like this. I don't like how Becky lost the title to Maxine. It should have been AJ Lee to dethrone her. And it's like, no, like just talk about what you like about it. Like, what's your favorite move? What's your favorite gear, and why do you
Mm-hmm.
like that? Like, because then you just branch off into other things. Like, I much rather that than complain about the product. And we have both sides of the coin between the creators and the wrestlers. I don't know. It's a cool balance.
It's fun. It's really fun sitting on this side of the table. What's next for you? What's coming up? Anything big on the docket? Anything anybody should be looking out for?
Big thing is no nights off, Tuesdays and Thursdays right now, 7:10 p.m. Eastern time on the No Nights Off YouTube channel. House show comes out every Friday on the house show, official house show YouTube channel, and Apple and Spotify. And then I'm doing I got an idea for you that I want to run by, because I'm a big video game guy.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I fell in love with at the age of 3.
Yes.
And wrestling video games being included in that. Universe mode in 2K, I've
Mm-hmm.
created my own nonsense wrestling federation that Sarah and I have our own brands.
Yeah.
So I'm SmackDown, she's Raw, and we have our own titles. Like, I have the Nonsense Wrestling Federation World Championship. She has the big gold with Gunther as her champion. My
Of course.
champion is my created character, Senor Chevre. Like, it's and then for the house show, we're exploring GM mode, exploring
Okay.
my GM mode a little bit, because that is, I believe, every wrestling fan's dream, and it's my actual dream job to be a wrestling show general manager, like kayfabe general manager,
Yes.
is my era. That or an announcer, like a McAfee gig,
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines is my dream job.
Yes.
So, like, to live that out, if it's a video game for like an hour, 2 hours, and then just like, all right, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and then you go and hear about it on the house show. Like, I don't know. It's just we're gonna test that out for 2026. But
That's
just
awesome.
more shit. We're just doing more. We're just gonna just try shit out and just see what happens. That's why you just gotta follow me and just see what happens. It might be good, it might be shit, but it's there.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Maybe shit. I don't know. But you got come find out.
Listen, coming to find out, show up to the Paddy Pitts social medias, no nights off, at the house show. You got to check that out as well. Anybody that's kind of stumbling on this video doesn't know who you are and has never really seen your content before, you need to put them on notice right now. What do you got to say to the people?
I'm gonna go full on promo style with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
golden mic. I am host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, champion of the peeps, and captain of all things nonsensical. With those many titles that I hold, there is many things that I need to watch. I need to watch the Goliath that is WWE. I need to watch the Elite Wrestling Show on TBS, TNA, like at all. You need to be updated. And there's not enough hours in a day and manpower to have a show for every single one of them. Okay. That's why you come to the house show, you bring me your question, and then we'll talk about it. Because I am a goddamn walking encyclopedia. I know wrestling theme songs within 3 seconds better than I know family members' birthdays.
Damn. I,
Why? Because I've been doing this my whole fucking life. And finally, it's my time to get some goddamn respect.
I'm here.
And
I'm
all you gotta do
ready.
is ask.
I'm
All you gotta
banging
do is
down the
ask.
door of the
Just
house
debate
show.
me. Dude, it's so easy. You want to debate. We know a lot of you in the IWC love to debate on this app. If you want to debate with somebody, you're bored, click the speakpipe.com/official house show. You go there, you click that button, you hit record, you just go on a rant. Unfortunately for you, fortunately for me, it's only a minute 30 you got. You got to make it quick and good. You send that in, give me your name, fake name, give me numbers. I don't care. But what you ask will be answered.
Ask and you shall receive. Paddy, this has been an absolute blast, man. Thank you so much for coming on. You were saying thank you to me. You've been in the game. You're a little bit deeper in the game. I appreciate you so much for coming on, having this conversation. And like you said, just getting that like-minded, the fun wrestling fans. Okay, what are we going to do next instead of saying that sucked back there? How's what's there going to get better? I like that. And until next time, make sure you check out Paddy Pitts. Go follow all his social media channels. Check out No Nights Off and the house show as well. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button on the video. If you don't mind, follow me at the Shake and Bake on all social media as well. Make sure you show somebody you love them, please. We'll catch you in the next one.